ba ba.
I am recording. Ba ba ba.
I am recording. Ba ba ba.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the 604th episode of the Pokemon Podcast. It's super effective. I'm your host, Steve. With me is Hannah.
I am here. Happy Lunar New Year and happy Valentine's Day week.
Dang, you two in one this week.
You're the
Greg
dragon.
Also here.
I am also here. No 2 in 1. There's kind of a drought holiday after this. It's like not a lot that's happening that's very interesting. So like get it in.
What, Easter?
They're like Easter, which is super early this year. And then there's a whole lot of nothing. Like all of April and all of May got nothing. Well, my birthday's in May, which should be a national holiday. So if you don't celebrate it, you should start.
Well, we'll just make our own holiday. You guys are
Well, I mean, the other thing is Pokemon Day also happens
we have
in February.
Pokemon Day coming up.
It all happens too fast.
Well, yes, we have Pokemon Day. Next week episode will be pre-recorded. It's actually done. Spoiler. Woo! I'm gonna be. If you're listening to this week on February 12th, I will be in LA. Unfortunately, not the greatest city in the world, but I'll be in LA for Sinnoh Tour, and Al will also be in LA, which is, fun fact, Al's first time in America. Not my first pick for a city to visit in America. But maybe you get the real American experience in LA. Unsure if LA is still underwater or if it's going to continue raining. But
I have heard there's going to be more rain, but I don't think there's going to be more flooding, but one can only hope.
Yeah. But if there's any breaking news and then next week's episode comes out, just know that it was recorded before this episode.
I don't think there will be.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think like the news we got this. Well, we do got some news this week, so we got some.
We got
the news for you. We went out, whoosh, we fished it in.
We're not going to go back to 1999 to talk about an old article.
No old articles. The normally raid events get announced on Sunday night after we record. Somebody at Pokemon maybe listening, maybe like, hey, we should give people like a week's heads up here. So our first bit of news is that there will be Love Disc raids, which will take place from Sunday, February. Oh, that starts tonight. Sunday, February 11th. To Thursday, February 15th, Love Disc will appear in 3- and 5-star Terra raids. These Love Disc will all have Fairy as their Terra type. Prepare wisely before challenging them. I don't know what that means. The Love Disc has the word. There's no, even if this was a 7-star Love Disc, it would not be threatening. Yeah, I don't.
Especially because they're all the same Terra type.
Yeah, they're all fairy. What's crazy about the Pokemon.com article is it says defeating Love Disc won't yield the heart scales of old. Yield heart scales.
Get wrecked.
But you'll have a chance to receive extra sweet rewards, increased amount of XP candy, and rare candies perfect for training up your next team. That's so funny that they mentioned an item they got rid of.
Guess what? This doesn't exist anymore.
Which it was a good change, honestly. I think Heart Scales was like one of the one things in the underground in BDSP that was like worth it, because it was like after your 50th Sunstone, you're like, please, I don't need another one. There's like so many Sunflora I can evolve.
I mean, the heart scale is one of the reasons I always hesitate before selling everything in the treasures folder of my item bag.
Yeah, but you don't need them anymore. Not at least in this game.
Yeah, nothing in this game. Not even the bamboo. I think that's the one I was unsure about in Scarlet and Violet. They said there were collectors.
Oh, yeah.
But there are no
There are no collectors.
Collectors.
There are no collectors. That's a hot lie. Well, I mean, I suppose in Sword and Shield, there's the one guy who, in whatever town was outside the fighting gym / was it fighting / ghost gym, that would be like, hey, if you have this item, I'll pay extra money for it.
Yes. And I think there was one item where it was better to merge it in the Cram-O-Matic before you sold it. I think it was like the ball mushroom or something.
Yeah.
Where you got a little bit more, but like the hassle of doing it, it was like, I don't know. I'll
never
just
worth
sell it.
the hassle. It was never worth the hassle, ever.
No, I don't think so. Then they announced another set of raids. So Love Disc ends on Thursday, and Thursday night Central Time, but midnight UTC. So assuming that there would be another 7-star, but there wasn't, they're doing instead, this is also off Pokemon.com, Stonejourner, Ice-Q, Armor Rouge, and Ceruledge are coming to Terra raid battles. That will start Thursday, February 15th, and it will go until Sunday, February 18th. They will be appearing in 3- and 5-star Terra raids for both Scarlet and Violet. During this time, Stonejourner, Ice-Q, Armor Rouge, and Ceruledge at Terra raid crystals throughout the Paldea region. These Pokemon have various Terra types. And I think this is the first time where they're actually, maybe not the first, maybe the second time, where these are not version exclusive. They're supposed to appear in both games.
That's what you mean.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are
Because
version exclusive
These are
Pokemon.
version
They are
exclusive
version
Pokemon.
But they're not being tied to the game they appear in, and you have to connect to the internet. You should be able to see all 4 in whatever game you own. Which, it's been a year, so yeah.
I feel like people have these by now, because they would randomly show up if you're just checking raids anyways in somebody else's game. Like, that's how I got most of these.
There's always someone trying to complete the Pokedex.
The Venn diagram of people that don't have Nintendo Online and still don't have a Ceruledge seems very high on my Instagram post. They're very excited. So, like, I'm excited for them. They can finally get a Ceruledge. Good for them. Ceruledge would be...
But more people got Violet. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Look, those Violet players... They just couldn't get the Nintendo Online. I think this makes sense. Like at a certain point, like just make it easy to get.
Yeah.
For people who legitimately don't have Nintendo Online. Like that's good for them.
We are well into the life of this game. At this point, just start giving these things away.
Also, like a lot of people probably got this game for Christmas, and it's only been like 2 months for them. So. I know for me, like Ceruledge and Armor Rouge were like some of the last in my Pokedex because I didn't want to evolve it via Char Cadet. I was like, I'm not worried about it. It'll pop up in a raid eventually and I'll catch it. And then I don't have to worry about that evolution cycle. Nothing about, as of this podcast, nothing about a mass outbreak. I was actually surprised. Well, not like surprised that I would be surprised if they don't do one. Like I would still maybe assume that there would be like a Tandemaus outbreak or something for Valentine's Day. Maybe they announce that tonight after we record, but
that's always possible. But they've already kind of announced the Valentine's Day event.
The Love
the
Disc.
Love Disc. Yeah.
I feel like if they would have announced it, it would have been with the Love Disc, but I think the mass outbreak and like small, not that exciting raid kind of goes well together, but it's fine. Maybe they actually knew for once that like, hey, they're going to do the 7-star raid next weekend where everyone will be like, oh, yeah. I'm like, we're doing the world Sinnoh global thing, which is not this coming weekend, but next. Yeah. This coming weekend is Sinnoh Tour.
Would be Sinnoh Tour.
Yeah. I'm speaking as if it's Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to do all the day calculations in my head, especially after we recorded the post-Sinnoh tour
Right.
yesterday.
And this also makes sense because, or not makes sense, but this Ceruledge ties into the little Ceruledge versus Dragapult short that they showed off, which the real star of that short was the little Gimme Ghoul. And then I think this is the first time they've acknowledged Pokemon Day for the year, where they said that the Ceruledge card would be available with the Pokemon Day stamp at GameStop, Best Buy, and Pokemon Center with purchase. The card is free, minus you got to buy something because capitalism exists. So, I think that was their first acknowledgement of Pokemon Day. I don't think there was anything before that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly just been fan speculation of all the things.
Leave it to Pokemon fans to overhype something that hasn't been announced. Yeah, the short was called Ceruledge Rumble in the Ruins. And then the card on Pokemon Center, and then the raids, and then it says meet Ceruledge and its trainer Amethio, right? Is that how you say it? Amethio in Pokemon Horizons, coming to Netflix on March 7th. And also technically, there's a Ceruledge themed coin, card sleeves, deck box that you can get through February 26th if you earn rewards on the ranked ladder in TCGL. Not TCGO, that shut down. The rewards are available until February 22nd. So good old I think Ceruledge is more popular than Armor Rouge.
I think so.
It definitely was at the beginning.
Yeah.
Maybe Armor Rouge gets its spotlight later this year. Maybe not. Who knows? Speaking of popular, a bunch of popular streamers and YouTubers made a esports organization. I have the Wikipedia up here. 100 Thieves is an American lifestyle brand and gaming organization based in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Founded in 2017 by Nadeshot. The organization, I don't know why I said organization funny, competes in several video games, including Call of Duty, League of Legends, and Valorant. And then they have a very big Wikipedia about their 3 big esports teams, which I just named. They used to do Counter-Strike. Apparently, they don't do that anymore. Now, why are you saying this? What does 100 Thieves have to do with a Pokemon podcast? Pokemon partnered with them, which was
guess what?
Actually crazy. Apparently, this partnership was in the works for quite a while. There's I don't follow esports that closely. I know there's a bunch of different teams out there, and there's smaller teams. Obviously, Pokemon UNITE has a bunch of their esports teams that they trade players, and that was weird. I was watching the UNITE stuff yesterday as I was cleaning my office, and it was kind of crazy for them to be like, oh, this player used to be on this team and now they're on this team, and I was like, what? When did this happen? Also, why are we we're it's cool that they're talking about it trading basketball players or football players. I was like, oh, that's actually crazy that they're on a different team, but okay, sure. No one's picking Cramorant. This is why. Pick the Cram. A lot of Eevees were being picked yesterday.
No, yeah, Eevee's just popular and good in that game.
Yeah, a lot of Eevees getting picked. But 100 Thieves is pretty big. What's the I'm trying to think of other teams. Anyways, 100 Thieves is partnered with other brands. They partnered with Dragon Ball Z at one point. which that if you like Dragon Ball Z and you're listening to the show and you like 100 Thieves, all the Dragon Ball Z stuff's on sale right now. I don't think it's sold. I don't think it's sold as well as Pokemon. But they launched a Pokemon collection yesterday,
and it's sold out.
it did sell out. I think the thing that sold out right away were the shirts. There were 4 shirts. If I say 4 shirts, you can probably exactly pinpoint which Pokemon they are. I can let you know. It's going to be Pikachu, Squirtle, Bulbasaur, and Charmander.
Yep.
I think if you signed up for the 100 Thieves mailing list, you got in 15 minutes before everyone else. And it was like the shirts were pretty much sold out because of that mailing list. The shirt's reasonably priced at $38 for a cross collab, like luxury brand. That's cheaper
Is it a
than
luxury brand? I don't know.
It's a lifestyle brand.
It's a lifestyle brand. I don't consider this a luxury brand.
Yeah, I don't think it's luxury.
You don't think a $100 hoodie isn't luxury?
I think they charging that price. I don't think it's necessarily worth it. Also, $100 hoodie that's
more than Puma.
But it's cheap for a luxury brand. Puma's not a luxury brand.
You can have different price levels of luxury.
I don't think this is luxury. And also, once again, it's just Pokemon slapped on a shirt.
Yeah.
It's stock images on almost all
the Charizard
of these.
on the hoodie is unique. I've never seen that one before. Where he's flying upwards with Thieves behind it.
Sure. Yeah, I guess.
Okay,
but it's
so
not
what did you
particularly
get, Steve?
stylistic.
I know you got something.
I did. I got the... I agree with Hannah, 100%. It is the classic slap a Pokemon with the logo. Although, the Charmander is sleeping on the 100 Thieves. That's not the standard Bulbapedia PNG that you always see of just Charmander, which was slapped onto the skateboards for... Gosh, what was that skateboard? I'm so mad that skateboard didn't... not Santa Monica. Anyways, I got the Charizard pants.
Oh, the one pair of pants.
I got the
corduroy?
The corduroy pants. I thought $100 for a pair of pants isn't too bad, especially when you're... Go on.
Have you worn a lot of corduroy?
No, I hate corduroy.
That's a choice.
I'm trying to get back into it,
What's to get into? You make weird noises whenever you're walking. It's mostly uncomfortable. I grew up in corduroy. It's awful.
Here's why I hate corduroy. Because I felt like I was forced, corduroy was like the church pants when I went to church like 4 times as a kid.
Is this not... I thought that was khaki. Okay.
No, I mean... Corduroy fell from grace for valid and good reasons, because corduroy is awful, and it was replaced by khakis. So khaki became the professional pant that replaced corduroy. Corduroy is terrible. It is uncomfortable.
But they have a texture to them.
Yeah. When you walk in them, that texture rubs against itself and you make weird noises. All you just everybody who walks, go back to the 70s when I grew up, with every teacher walking down the corridor going, and every kid who had to wear corduroy going, it was noisy and terrible. It's awful.
You don't think corduroy technology has changed in the last 27 years?
What about ridges on pants has changed? It is, unless they are putting some sort of soft part in between your thighs so they don't rub together, that is gonna make noise.
It can be made of a different material. That changes things.
It says midday corduroy fabric. I think these pants look tight though. Like it is not the like, let's just slap a Pokemon on a piece of clothing. Like it looks like they put the most effort into the pants.
It is the one pair of pants. Everything else is either sweatshirt, hoodie, t-shirt,
Mm-hmm.
and
Uh,
it stands out. Not in a bad way.
I know you're a vest person, Hannah. They did a vest.
They did do
Yeah,
a
I
vest.
looked real hard at that vest, trying to even picture what I would look like in it, and I can't.
The vest was more expensive than the pants, and I think there's more material in the pants. The vest was $139.
The vest has how many? 6 pockets?
It's got a lot of pockets. It's got too many pockets.
It has lots of pockets, and that's not a bad thing. Pockets are necessary.
Not that many pockets.
I'll take all the pockets I can get.
Look, they are in awkward positions.
That's never stopped me before.
Well,
I almost got the cardigan because what was that one drop with the Pikachu cardigan? It was a yellow cardigan with the Pikachu face. It was really simple. That was a luxury brand too.
I mean, the cardigan is still in stock.
Yeah, but I was like, okay, cool, simple black Pikachu cardigan, but I didn't like the back of it, which is like a pixel version of the words 100 Thieves.
Yeah. No, that's valid. I don't like being an advertisement for things that I pay for. I don't like their company's giant logos on things that I don't necessarily support. Like, if it was just the Pokemon, I'd be like, okay, fine. I don't care that it's made by this group. But with their giant thing on the blazon in the back, I feel like I'm supporting this lifestyle brand company that I know nothing about, that I'm only buying for Pokemon. All these are pretty much a hard no for me because of that, except for maybe the corduroy plants if they weren't corduroy.
Oh, but
the
Pikachu
$1,000 jacket? Are you? What is happening?
That's the luxury part. The luxury of having $1,000 to spend on a jacket. The Pikachu Sherpa fleece jacket has no 100 Thieves branding on it.
Yes.
And while it is just the Pikachu silhouette, they put like little Pikachu footprints all over it, and it's really cute.
Mm-hmm.
I think
maybe that's why maybe that's why it's one of the things that's sold out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's super, super cute. I'm looking at the pictures. I don't see it say 100 Thieves anywhere.
No, I don't either.
Oh, well, it says that on like the little zipper pull tag. But like,
oh, that's fine.
That's impossible to see unless.
Oh, it says it on the sleeve cuff.
But that's which is also impossible to see because it's black and black.
Yeah, that's my jam right there. Impossible to see.
Oh wait, no, doesn't it say it right up by the collarbone too?
Does it? Oh, it does,
so.
But it's so hard to see. But yeah, I see it. I see it now. I see it. I thought that was another footprint.
Oh, yeah. Nope. I'm out. I'm out again. I'm out.
No, but I think that's like the subtle look maybe some people want. But look, like I don't want to say who is this for, because like clearly there's a lot of like very popular content creators that are with 100 Thieves. Like Nadeshot is very popular. I think Valkyrae, I think she's a co-owner of 100 Thieves. Like they have big communities, and when they do drop stuff, it does normally sell out. So I'm curious of how many. Like I guess I am one. I'm like one person that bought something that I'm not a 100 Thieves fan, but I thought the collaboration was kind of cool, and I was like, let me get these pants. But I am curious what that crossover is. I mean, I guess it's doing the thing they want to achieve, which is like bring those two markets together, which is like everything they're doing with cross brands.
Yeah, that's why they keep doing it.
Yeah.
That's why they keep doing it. And then like as Greg said, there's a $1,000. Well, not $1,000. It's actually only $998. It's not in the 4 digits. It's a varsity.
That is like saying something's $9.99 is not $10.
Varsity jacket.
You will be paying over $1,000 in either tax and shipping, either or. That is over $1,000 when all is said and done.
So it looks like small and extra large sold out, but the jacket is still in stock if you're listening to this. It looks like it's handmade in San Francisco by Golden Bear Sportswear. Black melatonin wool, black premium leather. I don't know that much about clothes. I know when something's real leather, it's usually more expensive.
Yeah, and varsity jackets are expensive just at a base level when they're not fancy with logos on them.
This doesn't have a lot of leather on it, right? It's just the sleeves. Yeah. It's not a full leather jacket. It is a varsity jacket. So like it's in line with what you would pay for some varsity jackets, but also
yeah, I feel like 200 to 500 is a standard high school varsity jacket. That's why I had like 3 letters and no jacket.
Yeah.
Well, you guys remember the rings they would sell you in high school?
Oh, yes.
Greg, did you get one of those rings?
Why? No. There was nothing about paying. The only thing I paid for
it was like $200, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. The only thing I paid for high school was my yearbook. That was the only thing I was willing to pay. I'm not buying your jacket. If you want me to advertise my school, give it to me for free.
I don't think.
And I also looked at all that stuff. I said, so if I buy this and wear this out, I am literally telling the world I peaked in high school. And that is the saddest, most pathetic thing that I could do as a life goal, as a fashion choice. Because if I paid that much money, I'm wearing it, which is just sad all the way down. So no, hard pass.
Hannah's going to roll over the 3 that she got.
What? I did not get those rings. I thought they were fun to design.
Oh yeah, they're fun to design. I'd spend time with this is like character creators. Yeah, this is a cool design. I'm not paying for this. On average on Amazon, varsity jacket is about $100.
Really?
Yeah. Now I don't know how real leathery some of these things are, but they're not that expensive.
We should we should pool in some money, get the varsity jacket, and then mail it to the leather guy on TikTok, and then have him cut it up and tell us if the leather was worth the $1,000.
The leather guy on TikTok?
Yeah. He takes luxury, like he does take luxury brands like Coach or Gucci or like whatever.
Oh,
and then
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he cuts them up.
The leather guy threw me off.
Yeah.
Because I have different leather people that I follow on TikTok.
Oh, I see. Yeah, not that one. Not that guy, Greg. No, like he cut up like the leather, like Apple case before Apple got rid of leather, and he was like, "Oh, like this is actually like they use a really nice leather. It's really worth it. It is worth it. Like if you spend how much was like a Apple leather case? It was like $50 for your phone.
It was like $50.
Yeah, but he was like, "Yeah, no, this is worth $50 based on like the quality of leather they use." It's really interesting because they're like I wouldn't know like what's good leather, what's not. Cut it up. So most
TikTok content.
So most of this stock is sold out. And like it does look, if you click on things, it like a lot of the sizes are sold out, but like the Pikachu hoodie, they only got medium and large in stock. But all the shirts are gone. Gengar hoodie is gone. Cardigan only has cardigan's all there. But like, you know what's interesting about like drops like this is like the last thing we'll say before we take a break. I feel like if it doesn't sell out within the first hour, it kind of sits there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I purposely, I knew it was going to drop at 2, and I was like, you know what, I don't want to spend the money. Like I would like something, of course, because I would like to see the quality, show it off, talk about it, tax write-off. So I went on 2 hours later, and the thing I wanted, which was the pants, were still in stock. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll order a pair of pants, like $100 for a pair of pants. It's like, whatever. Like, I can literally wear them, so it's not like they're going to sit in a closet. Unless they're uncomfortable, then I'm not going to wear them. I'm going to come on the show, and I'm going to say, Greg was 100% right. I'm...
You're gonna bring on the madness to yourself by whipping around as you walk.
But I ordered the pants, and the pants are still in stock as of this recording. So
I feel like I prefer being in that situation to what it was with the skateboards and all that, where it's all getting bought out by scalpers and nobody can actually get a hold of the items. So I'm sure there's a balance. I'm sure part of the reason this one isn't selling out that way is because it's not limited in the same way, and it's mostly just Pokemon slapped on pieces of clothing.
Yep.
But it's still nice that they're still available, honestly.
I mean, are they going to do, is this like the only run they're doing?
I think so. I know on Friday night they had a big event at their office building, warehouse, something like that, where there were some people there posting pictures of the launch. But I don't think that was unique to Pokemon. I think they just do that anytime they collaborate with somebody. I'm always more interested in like the behind the scenes of like, how did they decide these Pokemon? How did they decide this merch? Who's getting like, how do they decide these prices? Is it 95 because it's like the hoodie was like 20 to make, and then 100 Thieves takes $30, and then Pokemon takes $40. I'm always curious about that side of things, of how like the brand deal came together. Obviously, we'll never know.
Yeah, that's the thing. We'll never know.
We'll never know.
But like, let me just click on the Dragon Ball Z real quick. So like a Pokemon hoodie is like $95, and the Dragon Ball Z hoodies were $90. So, but if you like the Piccolo guy, it's 25% off. It's $67 on their website.
The Piccolo guy?
Yeah, isn't? Oh, maybe that's not Piccolo. He's got green on his hat. I don't know who this is.
Oh, this is a Dragon Ball Z thing. I'm like, I do not Dragon Ball Z.
I've only seen like 3 episodes of Dragon Ball Z, and they were all charging up the entire time. There's no fighting. They were
Well, that's the series.
yeah.
That's what you do, is you charge up. You just you stand and scream at each other from 5 episodes, charging up to build the end. It's
even as like a 12-year-old, I was like, I got the patience or time for this.
Get to me when you actually explode in 7 episodes.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we got some Pokemon Masters news and some other things. The Year of the Dragon. We will be right back. And we are back from our break. We can talk about the Year of the Dragon.
Yeah. Welcome to it.
This is off Pokemon.com. They said, look for monthly Dragon Pokemon pins, gallery pins, held item pins, oversized pin, and pixel pins featuring your favorite Pokemon. They're just copying Disney at this point. They're just going really, really hard into the pins this year. They say there's a wide variety to choose from now, and there are hundreds more coming throughout 2024. Starting at the end of February, a new pin featuring a Dragon-type Pokemon will be released each month to celebrate the Year of the Dragon. Each Pokemon is posing in front of a stained glass window frame. The special pins are sure to be something fierce and eye-catching. Their words, not mine. Pokemon Gallery... Pokemon Gallery pins are a recent addition. These striking pins feature popular Pokemon attached to a Pokeball-shaped display stand. The Pokemon held item pins highlight different Pokemon alongside iconic held items from the video game. These items are connected by a metal chain, so they're always nearby the Pokemon when they need a boost. Plus, there are giant jumbo pins that are 5 inches long. What you are putting these on, who knows?
What are you doing?
A pin board or a bag.
Yeah, a pin board. For a bit of retro flair, Pokemon Pixel pins show beloved Pokemon as classic video game sprite. You can find individual pins as well as multi-related Pokemon pins. Keep checking because new pins will arrive every month for 2024.
There's one bit of advice I got in my 20s that I think is actually true. And that is, if you wore the trend the first time it came around, you are too old to wear it again the second time it came around. I was littered with pins in high school.
On your varsity jacket?
That was a thing. Not on my varsity jacket.
On a
my
jean
jeans
jacket?
my
Yeah.
acid wash jeans jacket. Thank you very much. It was very stylish. The thought of putting pins on my clothing or anything I own is abhorrent to me at this point. First of all, I don't have the back strength anymore to carry that much metal. Second, I lost a pin in a theater in New York, and it was like devastating to teenage me because that pin had so much meaning. Can I name the pin on that? I cannot. I could not tell you what I lost, what it was. I do remember scouring most of New York trying to find it because I was 16 and my life was over at that point because I lost this pin. Welcome back. It's back for all you people who love it this time around. Have fun with it.
I'm not sure it ever fully left.
I feel like it's been like when I don't
left.
follow Disney. I'm not a Disney person at all, but it's been pretty popular at like Disney parks for quite a while, right? The
Yeah,
pin
I
stuff?
mean, so the pin exchange at Disney parks is a collecting thing, not a sort of a wearing thing. The pins on clothing,
there are definitely
and
some people that
backpacks
will wear
is
them though, for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, you can't talk about how wild Disney adults are and the whole pin exchange. That's like a whole Disney podcast worth of talking. When we went to Disney, I saw all of the pin people going to the pin boards at everything, being like, "Hey, what do you have? What?"
Wait, are there like designated spots
Yes.
that you must go?
Yes. In our hotel in the lobby, you could go to one spot and the guy was there and they'd be like, "Okay, can I see what you have on the pin exchange?" And he'd roll this thing out and turn it around to all these pins, and they would put one on and take the one that they needed. It is the wildest thing.
Is it like, do you have to exchange, or are people just saying like, "Hey, I'll give you like $10 for this"?
It's an exchange. I think there's some that let you just take one if there's a lot of them, but mostly it's exchange. You have to give something to get something.
So this isn't like the Japanese Pokemon Worlds where like everyone's just laying out cards in the hallway and then
no, I mean,
no one's actually trading. They're just literally exchanging money.
Yeah, and I mean, so in the stores there are the giant, like all the new pins are just out, like just rows and rows and rows and rows of all the new pins. But if you want older stuff, that's where like the pin exchange comes in, or the eBay, where people go buy things off of eBay. It's a whole thing. It's just a whole thing.
And
So
Pokemon seems to have realized that they have over 1,000 creatures that they can make multiple pins of
each.
It's
a money maker for sure. Am I tempted by the Excalibur pin? Absolutely. Will I ever buy it? No, because I lived through it the first time and I can't go back.
There's nothing wrong with buying one pin, Greg. You can put it on your backpack.
What backpack do I carry around?
One that you'll need to backpack with.
I mean,
you don't want to take a pin backpacking.
Yeah, no,
that's gonna get lost real easily.
Mean, the backpack
you gotta get the safety locks. They're like, it's like $5 for like 20 of them.
That was like $20 for one.
No. You can get like a whole little box thingy off Amazon. The safety locking pins. I can't remember what they're called. I think if you just search for pin lock or something on Amazon.
Pin lock covers a lot. So.
A stronger pin back. I know I've heard that they exist. I feel like I looked them up because I've definitely lost a pin before.
Yeah. I always got the pin locks because I felt like I got like 100 for like $20 or something at one point. And then
I'm assuming locking pin backs, right?
Locking pin backs. Yeah, that sounds right. What are our prices here?
Oh boy, there's a lot to choose from.
We're not spending $1,000 on a varsity jacket, so we got money to burn.
All right, we got money to burn. So there's 30 pieces metal pin backs, locking pin you get 30 for $6.95.
Yeah, that's a pretty good price. There you
go.
As long as they work.
100 piece pin back locking pins back for pins. Wow, this is definitely an AI. That's $15.99 for 100.
15 for 100? That's a good deal.
Here, okay, these are gold, so these are fancy. 20-piece metal
Luxury,
pin
we call them.
backs
Yeah, because
locking.
someone's going to see the back of your pin.
Locking pin back. You will, and you'll know that you're luxury. Those are $6.99 for 20 of the gold ones.
Okay.
So Pokemon Center has done this thing where every year seems like every year they do like a set of 12 something, whether that's like Funko Pops or little ceramic statues. It looks like this year they're doing pins. So the
All right.
Garchomp Pokemon monthly pin, Dragon type pin, is one of 12. It's $12.99. This Garchomp pin is about 2 inches. I'm assuming there's going to be a Baxcalibur one, Greg, because
There is a Baxcalibur one in there now, but there is going to pay another one. Here, I've now changed my opinion on pins because of one item that I found on Amazon. Magnetic pin backs to convert your pins into fridge magnets. Now I'm back in.
But you have to break the
Are
pointy
you-
part
Greg,
off,
are you-
then,
are
don't
you-
you? Or do you just stick the pin in
You
the
just
magnet?
stick it in.
Okay.
You stick it in the magnet. Greg, are
Stick it
you
in
a
the magnet.
magnet person?
Yeah, I've been a magnet person for a while. I was more of a magnet person when I had a cube.
You've
And I
always been a pin person, Greg. You just moved
No.
from pins to magnets.
Yeah,
It's the same thing.
it is not the same thing. Magnets are vastly different. I'm not wearing magnets on my person. I'm putting magnets as decor. Decor is different than wearable.
Okay. I follow.
But I would get these if I still had an office with a cube that was my own that had the metallic cabinets because I would put them on that.
Yeah.
I don't have that. I don't
You can
have
get
anymore.
that. You can get a cubicle in your office if you want.
In my little office? I'm gonna
Yeah,
put a
you
whole
can-
cube
yeah.
in there? Are you
Sure.
mad? So I have a room that I've decorated myself free from the constraints of corporate plan, and you're like, get ugly gray walls and lock yourself back in the prison that you worked in for 20 years.
You can get one gray wall and put it behind your desk, and you can feel that cubicle experience.
No, I'm not going back. If I want, I will go into my actual office instead of the actual cubes.
There
Which
you go.
aren't
You can get the
mine.
pins, and then when you go to your actual office, you can push the pins into the felt,
Mm.
and then
Or
you
just
could-
use the magnets and bring them with you every time.
Yeah, that's the life right there. They have a
You'll-
lot
you'll-
of these magnet backers. I would do which is the best. They don't have great ratings.
So yeah, if you want to collect something, $12.99 for one pin. I think that's a little expensive, but
Mm-hmm.
It would
Um,
be glorious if this collection of pins they're doing for the Year of the Dragon was all pseudo legendaries and Archaludon.
oh
Yeah,
my
get
gosh, that would be
wrecked.
so funny.
I'm
they are
now-
like stained glass though. There's a picture of them holding this pin up to the light, and it does go through it, shines through it. It's kind of cool.
Ooh.
These pins are not that expensive.
Well, how much
I
is a
am
Disney
on-
pin?
I am on a Disney website right now. The D23 exclusive Sleeping Beauty 65th anniversary pin limited edition is $20.99.
For a pin?
Mm-hmm. The
I do
Tiana
know-
Princess and the Frog pin is $14.99.
I
You
do
can
know
get-
that I should be going to PAX in March. Granted, I booked the right flight and the right date. But they do their pin collection. They have the PAX pins. And they literally said when they started this like 5 or 6 years ago that they were like, oh yeah, we just copied it from Disney. And
yeah.
yeah. So, but the reason I bring that up is because Pokemon has been going to pretty much every PAX, and they do the Pokemon Lab. There it is, the Penny Arcade. Oh, you got an Eevee one? For the audio listeners, I have the Fuecoco one that I got in Seattle, and at one event they did the Quaxley one. So that is like the one thing I've legitimately wanted to trade for is like find somebody with a Quaxley pin and then trade them my Fuecoco one. But anyways, the Penny Arcade, which is the PAX stuff, is official PAX pins or whatever, but like companies and brands will work with PAX to get like their official pin. So it's really cool if the Pokemon company works with PAX to have official Penny Arcades, because Greg just held up Eevee one. I have a
Mhm.
Fuecoco one. I think they did one before that. I know there's a Sprigatito and a Quaxley one out there. But anyways, those are free. If you go to the Play Lab at PAX and you just wait in line, they teach you how to play the trading card game. You get a free 30 card booster, like a free 30 card deck. And then I think you normally get a booster pack. I could be wrong on the booster pack. And then you get the Penny Arcade pin. You don't get to pick. Usually each show has one pin they're featuring. In Seattle, it was Fuecoco. But all you have to do is wait in line. I waited in line in Seattle. I waited in line for like 10 minutes. And then I was against a dude who like never played the TCG, and I completely schooled him. And then we both got our pins and left, and I never talked to him again. But they will be at PAX East. Pokemon will be at PAX East. So if you're going to PAX East, I should be going, and you should get your free Pokemon pin. It's like 15 minutes every day for a free pin. It's pretty good.
Do they usually run out?
They've never run out from my understanding.
No, I've never seen them run out.
Yeah. There are some pins that do like run out and sell out, but I think Pokemon probably has the money to just overproduce compared to like the smaller indie companies that are like, we can only order 100 of them. But that reminds me of the Disney adults because they do the trading as well.
Yeah,
like
and then the ones that they
time.
have over, they just start doing the trading thing where they hunt people down and have them. Like that's a whole trading. They do it at Gen Con too. It's the pin thing's a whole lifestyle.
I think Pokemon goes to Gen Con as well for the same thing, the Play Lab.
Yeah, they do. I'll probably be there again this year, and I will probably go visit them.
The Play Lab. They did have Play Lab at GoFest as well, which is kind of cool. At the Seattle GoFest, they had just in the giant cafeteria convention hall thing, they just had the giant Play Lab where you could. I don't think they had pins though. I think they were giving away like 2 or 3 booster packs if you played, which is cool. Pokemon Masters EX. It's Palentine's Day, Greg.
Yeah, it is. It's Palentine's Day everywhere.
They've done 2 new sync pairs for Valentine's Day. One just announced last night, so Pokemon.com isn't updated with it. But the first one here is Victor and Greedent. Victor, who is the protagonist of Sword and Shield. For those that don't know that those characters have name. What is it? Victor and Gloria, I think?
Yeah, Victor and Gloria.
Normal type sync pair with a the P.E.K.K.A berry. Most support sync pairs in Masters EX use potions to keep their teammates healthy, but Victor and Greedent forage for an organic approach with a new trainer type move, Citrus Berry. This restores an ally's HP by approximately 20%, but also has a deep synergy with Victor's Palentine's buddy move and passive skill. I don't know what that is. Well, I know what a passive skill is, but oh, here it is. I found it. Little Nibble is what it's called.
Yeah.
What a good name.
Yep.
Passive skill helps make their buddy powerful and move available sooner. Oh, so then you can then use the Citrus Berry move again. Got it. And then they announced last night that Candace and Galarian Darmanitan is the other Palentine's Day pair, which I just have the Twitter post. I don't. Is she an attack? I'm assuming she's an attacker because Darmanitan feels like an attacker.
I don't think. I think she's tech. Actually, I'll look real quick. I can look it up because it's in the game right now. Also, that wasn't much of a surprise because when they announced Victor and started the storyline, suddenly Candace was there with a Darmanitan, and you're like, I wonder who the other one's going to be. It's like, you should just announce them at the same time. It's not that big of a secret.
Yeah. I will. As Greg is looking that up, I will say that I love both of their outfits so much.
Their outfits are so good.
Candace is dressed like somebody who's like selling you snow cones at like an
Mhm.
amusement park. It's very retro. She also has like the high socks with her boots, which is like a good touch. And then Victor, his outfit is so good. Like
It's so good.
he's legitimately wearing a hoodie that they should be selling. The like little Greedent berry hoodie should be a real product. And then his
Yeah.
apron is just
His
they're
apron's
actually
great.
giving away his apron on social media. I think
Yeah,
on
they're
Instagram.
actually making the apron into a real product, aren't
Yeah,
they?
Yeah. The apron is just a brown apron, but then it turns into like a chocolate bar as it goes down. It's it's like both outfits are so simple, but like fit so well in like the Pokemon world. Like they just seem like
Mhm.
actually genuine clothes that would
No,
be
Candace
worn.
is a striker. I was
Oh,
thinking
she
of
okay.
Victor.
The outfits are much more daily wear than they are fancy
Yeah.
event outfit. But they are
Right.
event outfits and they're neat.
I like Victor's more than I like Candace's.
Yeah,
outfit.
they're both good.
But they're
good for
both
different
good.
reasons.
They are both good.
They're just
I like
completely
this
different
art.
vibes.
I don't know if they've done art like this before, but the art I posted in the show notes of Candace, like I just like this retro background art of like them pointing out her like here's her hat, here's her watch, here's like what makes up her outfit.
Yeah,
That
they
stuff's
did one of
really...
those for Victor too.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, did they? I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
That must have been a couple days ago when they announced it.
They're both
But
they're both really good. I don't know if they're necessarily
Oh, I see it. I found the Victor one. Yeah.
super powerful sync pairs, but I think they both look great. I don't know that they have a lot of like super great use in game, but for this event, they're good.
Yeah, who cares about how good they are? I just need them to look good.
Yeah, I
Yeah, all
mean,
we do is log in and get the free things and try to get the
yeah,
characters we actually want.
yeah. I mean that is the most important part. For you hardcore people, you can come in and say they're worth getting. They're both great designs. I think all of their Palentine's designs over the last few years have been really good.
I don't remember what last year's was, but I don't think I pulled on them. Have they done Palentine's Day like here's the previous year's banner?
That usually comes about a week after. About
After
a week
Valentine's
after these have
Day
gone out.
and before Pokemon Day.
Yeah. Usually after the two new ones come out, about a week later, they say they run a banner of all the other ones from all the previous years. Because Lisa was last year with Togetic.
Oh yeah.
And
Now
who's
I
the
remember.
other one?
Greg, the big question here is for Pokemon Day.
Mallow and Appleton. That's the one that I have from last year.
Oh, the Mallow. Okay, so the question here, Greg, is they announce a sync pair on Pokemon Day every year. Last year was May and Latios. The year before was Leon and Charizard, and the year before that was Leon and Red. Sorry, not Leon and Red. Whoa, crazy! Red and Charizard. What are they announcing this year?
So I mean, they're leaning heavy into Scarlet and Violet. So I feel like we could get a Greta with what's the flower? Glamora. I feel like that's a strong contender because we already have Nimona, right? Like she's already in the game, and so is Penny. The other way they could do is round out your friends and go Arven. But generally they go with like the champion or a big final person of the series. So I think they could do that. They could also just go back and be like, it's another Red, and this time he has.
I wonder
Venusaur.
if they do
Big final
something...
person of the series. It'll be Kieran.
I wonder if they do something
pull.
dragon related. Oh, but Kieran and the
Hydrapple.
Hydrapple.
Kieran
would
and
be
Hydrapple.
really cool. Oh, also Hydrapple would probably be one of the monthly dragon pins,
Yeah, Hydrapple will probably be one of the monthly dragon pins.
which I actually would kind of want to get that one because I like Hydrapple a lot. Hannah and I had like the same look as we both realized that Hydrapple is probably going to end up being one of the dragon pins.
I'm not convinced. There are a lot of Applin evolutions at this point, actually. So
Yeah, that's true. They just do all of them. 3 of the 12. Yeah, what they did Latios though. It just wasn't Pokemon Day. Latios came after Latias, right?
Yeah.
It was just May. May was first. It was Brendan and Latios.
Brendan, yeah. So, I mean, we have Chase. So, I mean, they're going all over the place right now. They could also, I mean, who knows what they're going to do? And they also just pull out weird things like, oh, hey, this is so-and-so, and we're going to give them a mythical. So, like, I'm trying to think of who is
Hassel
tied.
and Baxcalibur.
No, usually like we don't have. I'm trying to think of what mythicals we don't have. We don't have a Magearna
They do
yet.
Meloetta.
We have Meloetta came out already.
Oh, okay.
So Meloetta's there. We have a Volcanion. We don't have.
Who has Volcanion?
Lysander has Volcanion.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Magearna is a mythical, right?
Yeah.
We don't have that because we have Marshadow. We don't have Magearna.
Do we have Zeraora?
We don't have Zeraora. But I don't know who that would go with. Of course, I don't know who Magearna would go with either.
Zeraora would go with Volkner. Sad boy.
Sad boy. Sad boy to sad.
Sad boy, sad cat.
Sad boy, sad cat. They could, the other thing is we're also getting, it's also their anniversary coming up. Like, so I don't know. They have a lot to choose from. I would say they either go one of the mythicals we don't have and just somebody who's already in the game. What generation was Magearna from? That was Sun and Moon, right?
Yeah.
So Lily or Gladion won't be Lusamine. One of those three. I don't think it'd be Lusamine.
I think Lily makes the most sense for Magearna because
probably
she owns one in the anime.
Yeah, she has one in the anime.
Fair.
Yeah, that I feel like either they go champion of Scarlet and Violet and kind of continue the Scarlet Violet thing. They could also be doing a weird thing with Hisui since the Mystery Stones have been leading towards that. I don't know when that's going to pay off, but they've been talking about it. So it could be somebody and Giratina, which we
have they put
Arceus
isn't in the game yet, right?
Not yet. No, they've hinted towards it, but it's not in the game. So it could be Arceus and is it Ray? Is Ray the name of the guy in the Hisui? Ray and what's her name?
Ray? Oh, you mean the main character?
The main characters. It's Ray and something.
Older Time Distortion Brendan and Time Distortion. Not Brendan. What are their names?
Ray and Akari.
Ray and Akari. Yes.
Wait, what are the Gen 4 protagonist names?
Dawn.
Dawn and Lucas.
Lucas.
Yeah,
that's
what
it
was.
It's very funny when they meet when they meet in Pokemon Masters because they're both like, "What's going on? Why do you look like me?
We look alike."
Is there any chance they could bring in the characters from the new anime?
Oh, you mean like Liko?
Yeah.
The only anime characters they've added are Jesse James and Ash, and they've avoided every other one so far. They might I don't think that's very likely until that has been more well established. Plus, I don't think they like introducing new voice actors. They tend to like, if the person's already in the game, they don't want to record new voice stuff. So generally, they'll release somebody who's already in the game, unless they're going to make a big deal out of it.
Speaking of games, this is our last segment, which is the Pokemon sales figures got released, which Nintendo releases these numbers because they publish these games, and so they also release their Animal Crossing numbers, their Zelda numbers, their Mario numbers. They do this twice a year, usually February and then August, I think, to make their stockholders happy or nervous or whatever. Not nervous. So there's really no surprises here, but we'll just go through it. Still, the number one most copies sold of a Pokemon game is Red, Blue, and Green at 31 million. I'm just going to say, I'm not going to read every single number. I posted the graphic, but number one is Red, Blue, Green, all that. Now, I know what some people are saying, that's unfair because it's 3 games and everything else is going to be 2 games. But Blue was never technically released in Japan at a retail level. In order to get Pokemon Blue in Japan, you had to buy a magazine and then do a mail order for it. Like, you couldn't just walk into a store and buy Pokemon Blue. So, so they got Red and Green, we got Red and Blue, and then maybe like 6 people in Japan got Pokemon Blue from mail order.
Surprise!
The second best-selling Pokemon game of all time is Pokemon Sword and Shield with 26 million copies. And then the number 3 is Scarlet and Violet with 24 million copies. So Scarlet and Violet is only a little over a year, and it is 2 million copies away from Sword and Shield, which took 3 years to get there.
It's 2 million copies away from being the second best-selling Pokemon games.
Which is wild.
It's incredible.
Possible that it beats it if they do decide to update it anymore, whether that's bug fixes or extra content. That would alone probably push it over. If they decide to do nothing from here on out, I still think it probably ends up trickling past Sword and Shield before the end of its life. Gold and Silver is number 4 at 23 million. Diamond and Pearl, number 5 at 17 million. X and Y, number 6 at 16 million. Then we have Sun and Moon, also 16 million. Ruby and Sapphire, 16 million. And then out of the 9 generations, Black and White is the last one there at 15 million. I will die on this hill. I was alive when it happened. Black and White got so much more hate than Sword and Shield did. Hands down.
Yeah, it did.
And that is one of the reasons why it is bottom on this list. I know. Greg and Hannah was also alive, I believe.
I was alive, but apparently I wasn't on that part of the internet because I was excited for it.
For everyone that was so mad at the tree texture of Sword and Shield, there's an equal person that was so mad that they couldn't use Garchomp in Black and White.
Also, Black and White chugged along too. It was a slow moving game. It was pushing things to its limit. Not as much. They fixed it somewhat in Black and White too. It ran a little bit better. But Black and White, I remember sort of being like, okay, come on. Let's go. Do I have to crank? What do I need to do to make this chug a little bit better?
Okay, so we'll jump over to the third versions / alternate versions / ultra whatever you want to call whatever this thing is.
Yeah.
I will say that Black and White, even though it is the worst selling, 15 million copies is still incredible.
It's a lot. It's
still very good for a video game. So even though Black and White is the worst selling, it is still outsold any of these remakes, alternate versions, enhanced versions. So your best-selling remake, enhanced version, alternative version, whatever you want to call it, is Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee at 15 million, which I love that game. Going to a game I absolutely hate, which is Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, also at 15 million.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, we have Legends Arceus at 14.8 million.
I'm so curious what that number would be if there were 2 versions of Legends Arceus.
Me too. Also, it literally, if you move that right before Christmas,
yeah,
I guarantee you sell like another 2 to 3 more million. Right?
Yeah, I'm just
right before
curious
the holiday.
if that would have jumped it up into the, like, if there are 2 versions of it, I feel like it would easily be in the 18.
At least.
You think that much?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was a super popular game.
Yeah, I think Christmas matters more than 2 versions here. But
I think if it came before Christmas and had 2 versions, then I think it would be up in the 20s.
It's a good game. A little short.
It's a very good game.
Then you got Pokemon Yellow, 14 million. Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, also 14 million. Heart Gold, Soul Silver, 12 million. Fire Red Leaf Green, 12 million. Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, 9 million. Black 2, White 2, 8 million. Platinum, 7 million. Emerald, 7 million. Crystal, 6 million. You could look at this chart and very easily go, it makes sense why they don't do 3rd versions anymore. Like, at least Ultra got them an extra 2 million copies.
Yeah. The thing is, like, what I'm curious about is, because I don't know that they say anywhere, but do the virtual console sales of these count into these
I am
final
glad
numbers?
You asked.
Did they say that somewhere?
I did put in the notes. To answer your question, no, they don't count.
Oh, okay.
But there are 7 versions of Virtual Console. There's red, blue, green, yellow, and then there's gold, silver, and crystal. All 7 of those games only sold 1.5 million combined.
Oh.
So even if they did count, none of these numbers shift.
Yeah.
Like no one like overtakes each other.
Right.
Combined, that is such a small fraction of any of the others.
Yeah, and this is something that has been talked about with like Xbox Live or like PlayStation, of like why don't people just throw your old catalog up there? Why don't you just put Crash Bandicoot on the PlayStation? I actually think Crash Bandicoot, that's a bad example. I think Crash Bandicoot is up there, but you know what I mean. Just like put all your old games up there. It's easy money. Like people are dying to get them, but we know this with like Microsoft talking about it or Sony talking about it. It's a lot of people don't go out and seek that old stuff. The people online on like Twitter who are very vocal about it, they go out and seek it, but they're not in the minority. So it's funny when you look at these sales of like 7 old games. It must just print money. Like 1.5 million between 7 games of like games that you're like, oh, just throw them up there, they'll just print money. That's such a small that's such a small fraction compared to like the work they probably had to put in to like make Pokemon Homework and like get the licensing, and like they don't get all that money, right? Like Nintendo gets some money, Game Freak gets the other money, Pokemon Company gets.
One thing I find interesting about the numbers is like, so if you look at, because everyone says like, oh, third editions don't sell as well. If you were to say, let's take Ruby and Sapphire, which is 16 million copies, and you divide those in half for 2, that's 8 million each. Emerald comes in at 7 million. Yeah. Emerald comes in as a solid number compared to a single title if you divide that in half. Like they sell a little bit worse, but comparatively they are doing the same amount of numbers that one version does if you divide it in half, roughly, when you look at these figures. Like Crystal sold 6 million and Gold and Silver sold 23. That's the biggest gap. Platinum sold about 8 million and Diamond and Pearl sold 17. So they are very close as a third tier product if you divided those in half. I don't think they sell as terrible as everybody makes them up, because you're comparing one title to two.
But when you're thinking about that actually in practice, not everybody buys both games.
Right. So like, it's interesting to look at. So what if you, so the weird thing is after the pattern had been established with yellow and then it was redone in crystal, the thing that I'm always curious about as they break down the consumer is how many people were waiting for the third version to buy it. Is there, how many people bought all three? How many people just bought one and then bought the other? Like, there's a lot that's not in just pure sales numbers to say, like, this is why they don't make those anymore. Because if you divide them up, they're like, they sell, and obviously they sell well enough that they continued making the pattern. Like, there was a big investment that they were getting back on these. But I don't think the numbers are as wildly variable for a third version as people necessarily point out and say, this is 100% why they don't make these anymore. But I just think it's easier to do DLC now, than to go back and fix it.
Split Black and White and Sun and Moon in half. Black 2, White 2, and Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon outsells that.
Yeah, 100%.
So I think them doing two versions is still beneficial. That's why, still to this day, it is crazy to me that there's only one version of Legends.
Yeah,
like that
it is the one thing. It's like, I don't know what the thought process was there, but other than, I think
you literally have two clans in the game. You just have a Pearl version and a Diamond version.
I mean, they really leaned away from having to trade in that one too. Like, you could get everything, and so having two versions would be leaning back into the trade. And I don't know that they want. But
that's the one multiplayer aspect of that game is trading.
Yeah, I mean, I get somewhat the thought process. I don't think it was also, a good thought process.
Also, it's the coolest trading animation out of the whole series. Have you traded a Pokemon in that game? It's so cool.
It's so cool. It is very
cool.
And
literally no one has done it because they're just like, I'm just going to use the link cable item, which is great. Like, I'm not complaining. They should get rid of that. It's a good item. I think, there is such a huge drop between yellow and crystal, and I think yellow was different enough to be like, this is more like the anime. Pikachu is following you. He has little emotions, and then so I think it had to do with how they marketed it, and plus obviously it was at the peak of Pokemon fever. Crystal, I remember the Crystal launch because Crystal was like, I felt like no one was playing Pokemon anymore. Like, that's where the drop off started happening, leading into Generation 3, where like that audience was getting older. Because I was that audience, right? I was like 10 years old when Red and Blue came out. And so when Crystal was coming out, it was like, 8th or 9th grade? And like Pokemon wasn't cool and people have moved on.
Because
obviously,
that was like 99 or 2000.
Like 2001? For Crystal?
2001 in North America,
Yeah. Crystal was one of my first games, but I don't think it was my first game. I think that I got it as a hand-me-down from someone, so I wasn't really around for the launch. I was very small.
I mean, they when you look at just remakes, you got Fire Red, Heart Gold, Omega Ruby, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, and then Pika V. And the one that stands out, like just like Yellow, is like they did something super, like way different with Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. So, and again, I think that has to do with marketing.
At the height. Yeah, that was at the height of Pokemon Go.
That was the height of Pokemon Go. It's also all Gen 1 again. We know Gen 1 sells. It was based off of Yellow, which is,
they gave it a special Pokeball. Like, I think they marketed that super well.
They did. I mean, it helps that Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee was based off of Yellow. Like it's their other best-selling one. Like, it wasn't a pure remake of Red and Blue. It was, a good remake of Yellow. They marketed it well. They tied it in to go well. They hit it at the right time, at the height of, at the height or beginning decline of Go's popularity. it was one of the first ones on the Switch, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the first Switch.
Yeah.
Pokemon
So
game.
like they hit it when the Switch was new. It was the first, new Switch. Like it all came together at the right time. It's like when all the engines hit at the right moment, and you can tell in the sales.
Yeah. Going back to the like 1.5 million copies that the 7 virtual consoles sold, if you looked at the 3DS eShop, Pokemon games were like top of the leaderboard.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine the other games in the eShop. Like if Pokemon was struggling to sell this much as a virtual game, imagine the other games. Because the thing that Pokemon has going on is it's constantly being talked about. There's always Pokemon news every week. It's why I'm able to do this.
It's one of the biggest franchises in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like if that's your best-selling eShop game and it took 7 copies just to break 1 million digital sales, that doesn't look very good for other things in the eShop. Again,
and they had to do a lot. They had to do a lot of work to make that bank compatible too, didn't they?
Oh, I'm sure.
Like
I'm sure making bank work was $1 million investment.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
And somebody's I know right now, comment on YouTube whether you bought comment on YouTube your favorite game. I know somebody's gonna comment like, no, I could program that in a day. But like sure, I'm sure you could. But like if you work at a corporate job 9 to 5, your biggest expense is the salary you are paying your workers. And if you put a team of what, like 5 people on that, and each person is getting paid what a program getting paid like 120,000 in Japan. Programmers in America are like 120.
Yeah,
so
I think
is that
average?
average? Let's look it up. Video game programmer salary. Well,
I mean, there are a lot of layoffs this year.
Woof. This is a range. The midpoint is 100K.
Okay. Well, it has to be higher at Game Freak because no one leaves that job. You're there forever.
But I mean, this is America. Let's be real. America does stuff very different. So this is America. Japan has different things. They probably do pay a little bit more, but they also treat their people perhaps a little bit better.
You're also required to go to the bar with your coworkers after you're done with your shift.
Let's
hit up that karaoke when you're done. Even so, even like 100,000, 5 people, that's $500,000 on that project, minus they're getting pulled from a different project. So you have to put people there, minus the server costs and everything else, maintenance, security. Like, there's no way they made. Like in my head, there's no way that Pokemon Bank actually makes them money after everything's said and done.
Pokemon Bank just on its own?
Yeah, just as like a like even though you could subscribe to it for $5 a year. Like, I think after almost 10 years of Pokemon Bank existing, I bet that is a net negative for them.
Depending on how much they count towards it. So when you're thinking of it like that, probably yes, but also I know that it's made a whole bunch of people stick with Pokemon and continue getting the newer games.
I think money-wise, net negative. Customer retention, positive.
Oh, the game programmer salary in Japan is terrible.
Yeah, that's what I expected.
Oh, it's terrible. The midpoint is 7 million yen, which is 46,000 a year in American. That is awful. The high end says it's 19. What is 19 million? So the high end is 127,000. But yeah, it is worse. Oof. But since you're doing what you love, are you really working? Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I don't know.
I mean, Pocari Sweat in Japan is only like 120 yen. I went to the Asian mall and it was $3. That was like 3 times the price. Like,
Oh, that's because you're
food.
paying import fees.
Yeah, food. No, I found Pocari Sweat on Amazon. I've made the switch now. Food in Japan is a lot cheaper than it is in the United States. I was there for 3 weeks, and I every time I ate out, I was just blown away. I was like, there must be a typo. There, like, it's this cheap. Like, the first place I ate when we got to Japan was the like fast food curry place. I can't remember what it's called. Something curry. Coco curry, I think.
Oh yeah, that's it.
I went to Coco Curry, and it ended up being $18 for 2 people. That's like 2 full meals, drinks, I think 1 appetizer, and I was like, this can't be right. $18, and I don't have to tip. If I went to Panera, it would be $18 for 1 person, and I would have the world's smallest sandwich because Panera sandwiches get smaller every single year, and their price goes up. That meal slapped, though. Coco curry was awesome. That was good. Anyways, with the Pokemon sales figures, I would be curious to see because, everyone speculates, and I'll use the word speculate very hard, that Generation 10 would probably arrive around Pokemon's 30th anniversary, which would be 2026. And I think it's safe to say between now and 2026, there should be a new version of a Nintendo Switch. I think within the next 2 years, there should be a new version. So the question is, in order to outsell Scarlet and Violet and Sword and Shield, if they make a Switch 2 version, I'll just say Switch 2. I have no clue what it's going to be called, right? Like, whatever.
So Switch 2 is a safe bet with their naming conventions.
Yeah. If they make a Switch 2 only version of a Generation 10, the problem they run into is the install base of owning that console. They are limited by the amount of people who own a new Switch. So do they make a Generation 10 for both Switch 2 and Switch to then hit as many
pull a Breath
people
of the
as
Wild
possible?
there.
Yeah, like Breath of the Wild. Yeah, exactly. Like Breath of the Wild, or like Twilight Princess was the same way. It was on both GameCube and
the Wii
U. Because I think that's the problem right now is like, Nintendo's problem is they couldn't get enough Switches out there fast enough. And there's a lot of Switches out there right now. There's like 130 million Switches out there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I would imagine, given their past history, it is very likely they'll make a game for both, right? Like that works on both.
Well,
Pokemon hasn't done that before.
No, but I mean, given Nintendo's history, like they tend to ask that of their developers. I wouldn't be surprised if they wouldn't do it for this one. It really depends on when the next generation of the Switch hits.
If it's this year.
If it's this year, then they may say, no, only do it for Switch 2. If it's next year, then I think they're like, no, you're going to have to figure out a way to make it work in both.
Right. The worry is, like, if they have to make it work for both, Scarlet and Violet ain't running too hot on the original.
Are they going to be able to make those performance enhancements they've said?
Mm-mm. The other rumor, which I'm always curious about, is that they said that it would be backwards compatible. Who knows? Because there's a lot of Nintendo consoles that are not backwards compatible. But if it is backwards compatible, would Pokemon release a patch like how Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon runs better on a new 3DS?
I mean, I think we had that somewhat with the 3DS and the DS, right? Like,
yeah, we did. Yes. Yeah,
like they have sort of done that in the past. Like the 3DS played all the DS games, but not particularly well.
Right. It was like
there was
blurrier.
some chunking. There were some issues with how it fit in there.
Yeah, it worked. Yeah,
It worked.
You could say that. It definitely worked.
We can say that about Scarlet and Violet. It works.
It works.
I mean, faint praise, but it works. I think it all comes down to a few things. If they have already given Game Freak the Switch 2, right? Like, even if it's coming out in 2025, chances are that they already have prototypes done. So they may say, here it is, make it work for this. And we're going to sell more Switch 2s by making this an exclusive, so people will want to switch over because Scarlet and Violet sells so well, blah, blah, blah. It's a flagship product, yada, yada, yada.
Sure.
So,
yeah. Pokemon does sell consoles, for sure.
So, there's a number of ways they could go, depending. I think it all depends on where they are in development of the Switch 2 or whatever it's going to be called. If it's already mostly done, then I would strongly say that for the 10th anniversary, it's a Switch 2 exclusive, and they're going to push it to sell consoles. I say if it's not done, like if it's not done until 2025, then they're not going to hold back the 10th anniversary anything, and they're going to figure out how to make it compatible on both.
Yeah, I mean, if there's any developer that probably knows or has access to new hardware from Nintendo, it's probably Game Freak. Obviously, it's like Nintendo themselves because they develop and publish their own games. But like, when you think of like companies that hold secrets pretty well, like Game Freak's pretty up there.
Yeah.
Like, no one saw Legends
considered.
coming. No one saw Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee coming, right? Like, how many people thought Pokemon Stars, including us on this podcast, was coming, and then it ended up being Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Like, they're pretty good with that, at least. So I think we got plenty of time to talk about Gen 10 and possible new hardware and all that stuff. Next week's episode is our wants, our predictions, are what is probably a given for Pokemon Day. So not a typical episode. So if there is breaking news this week, you'll have to wait. We'll have one more episode before Pokemon Day. So we'll have last minute stuff of whether that's going to happen or not. I'll be in LA. So if you're going to be in LA and you see me, feel free to say hi. I'm going to be giving out little Gimme Ghoul like photo cards. I have some extras from Patreon. So if you find me, I'll give you a little Gimme Ghoul card. Kind of like Gimme Ghoul in the game, actually. You got to find me, though. I'm moving. I should be in the park on Saturday, although I think I have like some Niantic tickets, so I think I'm technically allowed in the park on Saturday and Sunday, where most people only have one. Niantic did not pay for my hotel. They did not pay for my flight. They've only given me a ticket to the event, so just there's your disclosure. I did pay for my own flight, my own hotel. If you're in the Slack or the Discord, we are planning on a group meetup on Friday night. If you're not in the Discord, that's free. If you're not in the Slack, you can get in the Slack by going to Patreon. That's $5 one time, gets you in, gets you the ad-free episodes, the bonus episodes, all that stuff. So, and the people in both are very nice. I think we have less drama in the Slack, though. At least that I see. There's always something going wrong in the Discord.
The Slack's a lot smaller.
Wild.
Yeah, the Slack is smaller. It's like 800 people versus the Discord is, I think, almost up to 8,000 people. I regret advertising my Discord for the BBQs. That really blew it up. Anyways, thank you, Hannah. Thank you, Greg. We will see you all next week. This has been another episode of the Pokemon Podcast, and we are
super effective.
Super, just really enjoying that Legends Arceus trade animation, apparently.
It's so good.
I'm not sure I've seen it.
It's so, you have to see it. It's so good.
It's got to be on YouTube, right?
If not, I'll upload it.
That will fix it now.